Hey everybody, and welcome to this special on Mercury going direct out of retrograde. I'm Amani. I'm a karmic, holistic, astrological life coach, and I like to go in depth in all that I do, and all of my interpretations, especially when it comes to Venus, Mercury, Sun transits and everything really, are based on Vedic astrology, which is based on where the planets or the luminaries, which are the Sun and the Moon, are any given time in the sky, and all times are in GMT time as well. So yeah, thanks for listening, and yeah. So first I'm going to talk about what Mercury retrograde is, what Mercury direct is, and all the, astrological practical meanings. Then I'm going to talk about the aspects that Mercury is making when it goes direct this time out of retrograde, because as you know, Mercury typically goes retrograde about 3 to 4 times each year. And then I'm going to talk about, how it affects our family, the karmic reasons, how it affects our personal development and all that good stuff as well. So, yeah. So, this year, Mercury enters Scorpio on the 29th of October at 5:08 p.m. Then Mercury entered out of bounds on the 6th of November at 7:09 a.m. and Mercury went retrograde on the 26th of November at 2:43 a.m. and Mercury then left out of bounds on the 30th of November at 9:56 p.m. and then on the 15th of December at 8:57 p.m. Mercury goes direct, and this is what I'm talking about right now. So I'm Amani, your holistic karmic astrological life coach, and I'm going to tell you all about Mercury direct. So Mercury retrograde in astrology is when Mercury is going backwards, but as we know, retrograde motion is actually an optical illusion. What's really happening at this time is that the planets are swinging backward and forth, side to side sort of thing, not really, completely going backwards, but on the symbolic level, it's a time when, communication should go more inward. So yeah. And when Mercury goes direct out of retrograde, communication goes more outward. So that's what it means in its simplest form. So yeah. So first I'm going to start by talking about the astrological, practical, worldly, collective, materialistic meanings, the political and psychological meanings of Mercury going direct out of retrograde. So when Mercury goes direct after a retrograde period, it signifies a shift in energy, communication and flow. And remember that typically Mercury's post-retrograde zone shadow typically lasts for about 2 to 3 weeks. So yeah. Astrologically, Mercury controls communication, travel, technology, siblings as well. There's education, schooling, your immediate environment, also your cousins, neighbours, short distance travel, because long distance travel is more ruled by Sagittarius, which is Gemini, which Mercury's rules opposite sign, so it's on the 3rd, 9th house axis. So yeah, the 3rd house when Mercury and Gemini typically lives, control short distances, messages of all forms, such as email, DMs and all of that, and journalism and writing, as well as physical dexterity, which is, the skill and ease of using our hands, as well as our mental skill and our quickness as well. So when Mercury goes direct, we can get more clarity in these areas. It's a good time for making decisions, signing contracts and starting new projects. As Mercury going direct supports forward movement. Practically, from a practical standpoint, it means that there can be fewer misunderstandings, technical glitches, so computers and hard drives should start working again. It's a good time to resolve conflicts, clear up miscommunications that happened when Mercury was, in retrograde, and focus on becoming more productive. People may experience more smoother interactions and be able to express themselves more clearly, but remember that for the first 2 weeks, every time Mercury comes out of retrograde, it's still in its post retrograde zone, so it's just going to take time for these things to pick up and stuff as well. And of course, if you are born, because Mercury retrograde can happen 3 to 4 times a year with Mercury. So yeah, if you were born, that's my point, yeah, if you were born with Mercury retrograde when it goes direct, this whole period can be like retrograde for you. So, you know, Mercury retrograde can actually be a relief for you when that happens, and Mercury direct can just be like, oh my god, no, horror. But yeah, on the worldly, materialistic, collective level, it can help us sort of like make better financial negotiations and decisions as well, and improve business transactions. It's a good time for making investments, or, you know, looking after your finances, so looking at your budgets, because Mercury also rules Virgo as well, so it's good for all kinds of analytics and logical planning when it comes to investments and finances, and also thinking about your daily routine, especially your health routine as well. Politically, it can make communication in governments more clearer. It can see progress in policy making, diplomatic relations, people speaking the truth, so whistleblowers as well, and public discussion can become more clearer in the politics realm, because sometimes, you know, politicians can act like school children and it can just get a bit too nitpicky, gossipy. But Mercury going direct, they can be more logical with their arguments, if there is such a thing. Sorry, I'm being biased. So yeah, it can it can make things less confused and more transparent in the realms of politics. On the psychological level, Mercury going direct can help us feel more mentally sharp, focused and decisive. It's a time where we may experience improved problem solving skills. As I said, we may have more sort of like, if we've been clouded in our judgment, it can be a time of mental clarity, and we can sort of like, it gives us the ability to just be more sort of like open to honest conversations that give us deeper insights into our thoughts and emotions, and helps us just make better decisions in general. So yeah, spiritually, Mercury turning direct from retrograde allows us to have more sort of like self-reflection and think about the lessons that we learned or should have learned during the retrograde period. It's a time to move forward with renewed insight and understanding, so we can have an increase in self-awareness, awareness of others, be able to embrace new opportunities with confidence, especially those related to communication. So it's a time to, you know, start or continue that podcast, that blog, whatever it is you're into, creating that content. It encourages us to trust our intuition, release old patterns and beliefs that no longer serve us, especially around how we communicate with others, or how we allow others to communicate with us, especially if the way others may communicate with us is toxic as well. It's a time when spiritually we can reconnect with our intuition and sort of like just listen to our inner voice and align ourselves with our true purpose as well. It supports us in expressing ourselves more authentically, resolving conflicts, and just, you know, bringing more harmony if there was disharmony in our communications and in our relationship during the Mercury retrograde period. So esoterically, it opens us up to the channels of higher knowledge and wisdom. It's a potent time for tapping into our intuitive abilities and connecting with the unseen psychic realms in grounded ways. And I always push this grounded stuff, because when we communicate with the other side in an ungrounded way, then it can just lead to toxic things as well. Symbolically, Mercury going direct out of retrograde represents progress forward, reassessment. It gives us the green light to carry out plans and decisions with a clearer mind that may have come to us in Mercury retrograde, and we may have started doing it but then we couldn't do it, so now's the time to start again. Creatively, encourages innovative thinking and creative expression. It's a time when new ideas can flow more easily and creative plans can flourish. Emotionally, it allows us to, you know, just feel a sense of relief and resolution, because, you know, misunderstandings or delays that happened in retrograde may start to untangle, and this can lead to, you know, more emotional, spiritual and psychological clarity. So now I'm just going to talk about the general positives, negatives, and the best use of Mercury going direct out of retrograde. So positively, as I said, it just helps us to find clarity in communication, better decision making, helps us with more stability with our technological devices as well. It can just make us, if it was finding it hard to operate a new gadget or device during retrograde, it can be easier now. The negatives are that, there's a shadow period. So even when Mercury goes direct, as I said, the shadow period lingers when the effects of retrograde can still be there. So, there can be continued confusion or delays. So just be gentle with yourself and others, and plan extra time for, things, travel, and replying to communications and receiving communications as well. People can make hasty decisions because they can rush into them too quickly without fully thinking them through. So it's important to be cautious and take time to consider all options before making significant choices. You can be overwhelmed as well. So the sudden shift in energy from retrograde to direct can sometimes be overwhelming. So it's essential to stay grounded and not let the quick pace lead to anxiety, stress. So just look after your mental health. Be gentle with yourself and others. Take your time, The best use of this energy is to reflect and reassess. And you can use this to plan ahead. So this is the ideal time to align your actions and words with your long-term objectives. Just reassess how you're living your life, how you're living your life, the people in your life, your relationships, your thoughts, helping you to achieve your long-term goals. If not, in what ways can you change toxic behaviours, relationships to live your best life? Also, the best use of this energy is to learn from past mistakes, to embrace the lessons learned during the retrograde period and use them to avoid making the same mistakes again in the future. Take this time to grow and evolve from past experiences, and turn challenges, obstacles into opportunities for growth. Embrace change, welcome new opportunities and possibilities that come with the turning of this cosmic tide, and remember, with every challenge comes a chance for growth and renewal. Stay open to the winds of change and allow them to, allow transformation, change to carry you towards brighter horizons. So now I'm going to talk about the aspects that Mercury's making when it goes direct in Scorpio. So positively, it can make us more sort of like intuitive, increase our communication skills and our analytical thinking, encourages us to self-reflect deeply and uncover hidden truths. But negatively, there can be a tendency towards secrecy, manipulation, or excessive thinking. To make the most of this energy, it's recommended to engage in meaningful conversations, research projects that require depth and focus, and explore topics related to psychology or spirituality. It's essential to remain mindful of power struggles or intense emotions at this time, and try and work towards clarity in communications. And by embracing this energy, we can have a deeper understanding of ourselves for the next 2 to 3 months. Mercury's direct, but it goes retrograde about 3 to 4 times a year, and we can just get more resilience and more insight about our life problems and our life purpose, which can help us. And in terms of the aspects that Mercury is making when it goes direct, first we've got Mercury making a trine to Mars, and then Mercury making a trine to the Moon's North Node. So these energy over the next couple of months, Mercury's direct, allows us to have more confidence, gain more clarity, be more articulate in our points, being able to speak more assertively, be more assertive in our mindset as well, and we can go after our goals with more determination. Our thoughts can flow more freely, and creative ideas can come out more quickly as well. So it allows us to be more decisive in our action as well, but we just need to watch out for impatience and over emotionality, which can make us rush decisions, overstep other people's boundaries, give our power away, and this can lead to misunderstandings and hurt feelings. So just make sure you mean what you say and say what you mean. Enforce your boundaries, respect other people's boundaries as well. In terms of Mercury's trine to the Moon's North Node, again, it allows us to work on our personal growth, find our life purpose. It can make us feel more motivated to learn new things and to work with others and work towards our long-term goals as well. We can also be open to sharing new insights and knowledge with others, and this can increase our relationships, deepening our bond. It's a great energy that allows us to discuss the things that matter to us as well. Also, there's a grand water trine. Well, there's two. The first one involves Mercury in Scorpio, the Moon's North Node in Pisces, and Mars in Cancer within a 21% orb. And then we've got the Sun in Sagittarius, Chiron in Pisces, and the Ascendant in Leo within a 20% orb. So the first grand trine helps us with our emotional intelligence and our intuition, and moving forward from our past as well, and being open to transforming our psychological and emotional and spiritual wounds, deeply healing them. Be more willing to face our problems rather than running away from them. But also, this grand water trine can add to misunderstandings and frustration. So we just need to make sure we chill out, ask for clarification, not assume anything, check our facts, stay away from people if we can, if we are sensitive, but that's not always, sort of like doable in the workplace and stuff. So just try and not be snappy, try and give people grace if they are snappy, try and reduce conflict, try and understand and have more empathy, because this is a lot of water energy that's allowing us to be optimistic and heal our self-expression as well. So the way we put ourselves across to the world, or any issues where people may have told you that you're not good enough, you can't do this or that. And the second grand water trine helps us to get in touch with our inner feelings, also supports us in having more self-belief and confidence as well, allowing us to feel inspired by others and inspire others as well. And it just allows us to be more charismatic as well, and some of us may gain support and recognition from those around us, but we just need to watch out for being overconfident, overdoing it, overspending, lying, falling into fantasy, over romanticizing everything, ignoring red flags, having unrealistic expectations and misinterpretations of what's being said. So just make sure you assume nothing, check facts as I said before, and try and be more authentic, and do not fall for lies and deceit, basically. There's also a T-square that involves the Sun in Sagittarius, Neptune in Pisces, and the Moon in Gemini as well. And this again supports us in expressing ourselves and our beliefs more openly as well, but it can also bring tension to our communications as well, and it can also blur the lines of clarity as well because of the influence of Neptune in Pisces again. And remember, it's influencing in the grand water trine, so we just need to watch out for confusion, being idealistic and being manipulated and lied to, and manipulating and lying to others as well. So we just need to make sure that we try and tell the truth, face reality, and if we use the Moon in Gemini, to be flexible and to think before we react as well, and just to be open to allowing ourselves to think new things, although we can find it challenging right now because of our emotions and moods that can be up and down, and to have a clear perception of reality right now. So we just have to try and be grounded, be practical, seek out help to stay practical if need be as well, and remain vigilant, watch out for miscommunication and over idealization of people or situations as well. Try and ensure that our messages are clear, truthful, and aligned with our authentic self. So just make sure that our messages are clear, truthful, well and aligned with our authentic self, and make sure we check facts if need be of what we're being told as well. So yeah, now I'm going to talk more about the karmic meanings and all that other good stuff. So now I'm going to talk about the holistic karmic past life meanings and the karmic lessons of Mercury going direct. So holistically, Mercury going direct out of retrograde motion represents a period of resolving misunderstandings and releasing any lingering tensions from the past weeks. In terms of past life meanings, it indicates a need to address issues related to expression, truth and learning from previous patterns of miscommunication. The karmic lessons that we should learn during the time Mercury is direct, which typically lasts for 3 to 5 months, revolve around practicing patience, understanding the power of words, and being mindful of how our actions impact others as well. So now I'm going to talk about the positive and negative influences of Mercury going direct on our relationships. So in terms of family relationships, it can improve our communication and it can lead to a better understanding and harmony in our family as well. But negatively, sudden bluntness or honesty can cause friction. In terms of friendship, it can lead to easier planning of social activities and catch-ups due to clearer communication, but negatively, unresolved issues that were overlooked during Mercury retrograde can come up right now, and this can put a strain on friendships. So yeah, in terms of co-worker relationships, it can increase productivity and teamwork as well, because work-related communications can become smoother, but negatively there can be an increased likelihood of misunderstandings due to the rapid pace of communication that can happen post-retrograde. In terms of committed couples, there can be renewed clarity and understanding in the relationships, helping partners to reconnect on a deeper level. Negatively, there can be a tendency to bring up past disagreements, misunderstandings, and this can create tension in the relationships. In terms of hookup relationships, there can be clearer intentions and boundaries, and this can lead to more satisfying and respectful interactions between partners. But negatively, there can be a misinterpretations of signals due to increased directness, and this can result in misunderstandings or conflicts. So just make sure you respect other people's boundaries, ask for consent, and everything should go fine. So yeah, now I'm just going to talk about how Mercury going direct affects career, personal, spiritual and educational development as well. So in terms of career development, projects that were previously delayed or face obstacles may start to move forward now, because communication can become more clearer and effective. But negatively, there can be challenges as misunderstandings or miscommunications that happen during retrograde can still be lingering and require extra sort of effort to resolve as well. On a personal level, relationships with colleagues, friends and family, as I said, may improve as it can bring clarity in communication, which can lead to greater self-understanding and stronger connections with others. However, they can still be, lingering tension, especially in a conflict as well with yourself. Your personal thoughts may become more clearer as well, so this can just impact your relationships positively, but negatively your thoughts can be clouded, and this can impact your relationships negatively as well. So in terms of spiritual development, it allows us to have more of a deeper clarity of thought and a deeper connection with our inner self, and it brings opportunities for personal growth, self-reflection and aligning with your true authentic spiritual path. But it can still bring confusion or doubts as well, because of the lingering energy of retrograde motion as well. This can get in the way with you, of your spiritual practice. In terms of educational development, we can experience a positive shift, and it can be better to learn new information, and we can find it easier to understand concepts and grasp new knowledge, which is always good. But there can still be some leftover effects from retrograde, such as delays in academic progress and misunderstandings that need to be resolved. So now I'm going to finish up with the best things for creative professionals and students and entrepreneurs and alternative healers and lovers to do when Mercury is direct. So professionals should use this for clearer communication in the workplace. Students should use this energy to become more productive and focused, because there can be less of mental fog. Entrepreneurs can take this time to make important business decisions with greater clarity and confidence. Alternative healers may notice a stronger connection to their intuition and spiritual practices, making it a good time to explore new healing techniques and, get deeper into researching, brush your skills upon tools and strategies you already use. Lovers can look forward to smoother communication in relationships, because communication can flow more easily. Misunderstandings can be resolved more effectively if you're willing to provide that active listening space and give each other grace, and to just really listen, because sometimes we just don't listen and we don't communicate as well, and we need to do that, because if we don't communicate, things can go crazy. And obviously taking time out is a form of communication as well. You don't always have to communicate with words and stuff, but ultimately it's a great time for couples to reaffirm their bond. So all in all, now's the time for singles to put themselves out there with more confidence, a bit more flirty banter, but make sure you don't get too carried away. So that's the end of this special on Mercury direct. I'm Amani, your holistic, karmic, astrological life coach. So take care.